Welcome to our deep dive into the world of AI. Artificial intelligence, it's AI is everywhere these days. It can be hard to separate the hype from what's really going on. We've got a really interesting stack of sources for this one. We've got some expert articles, a couple of video transcripts, and even a company newsletter.
Sounds like a good mix.
Yeah. And what we're going to do is pull out the most important points, help you understand what AI actually is, how it's being used already, and what it could mean for your future.
It really is such an exciting time to be talking about AI. I mean, it's moving so fast, but that also means there's a lot of confusion out there.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I mean, I bet you've seen some of those headlines like, AI's taking over the world, or robots are going to steal all of our jobs. But from what I've been reading in these sources, it seems like today's AI is pretty far from that whole sci-fi scenario.
Exactly. What we have now is what's called weak AI. It's really great at specific tasks. Like if you think about something like playing chess or recognizing faces, but it doesn't have that broad intelligence, like a human.
Oh, okay. So you're saying I don't have to worry about robots taking over the world just yet?
Not just yet.
Okay, good. That's reassuring. But it does make me wonder, how does AI actually work?
Well, imagine like a family tree. At the top, you've got artificial intelligence. That's like the big idea, machines that can think like humans. And then branching off from that, you have machine learning. This is where computers learn from data to make decisions. And then growing from that, you've got deep learning, which uses these really complex networks that are actually inspired by the human brain.
So deep learning is like the brainy grandchild of AI.
Exactly.
Got it. And those are the technologies behind all those real-world AI applications that we hear about.
Precisely.
Okay, cool.
And we're seeing these pop up everywhere. So in healthcare, AI is helping doctors to diagnose diseases like cancer.
Yeah.
And even eye conditions.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Like an AI eye doctor?
Yeah.
That's incredible. And I know it's not just healthcare. You were mentioning before we started recording that AI is even changing how companies hire people.
Absolutely. It can be used to sift through resumes, match candidates to jobs, and even conduct those first-round interviews.
So it's saving recruiters all this time.
Exactly.
And potentially making the process fairer.
Potentially.
Interesting. So it sounds like AI is making a big impact on a lot of different industries already. But there's also this other term that I keep hearing, generative AI. What's that all about?
Generative AI is really capturing the imagination right now. Think of it like a creative partner. You feed it a ton of data, and it learns to create new things based on that data. So instead of just analyzing information, it can generate new content.
So that content could be like
text, images, music, even code.
Whoa. That's mind-blowing. It sounds like it could change everything, from how we write marketing copy to how we create art.
It definitely has that potential. And actually, our sources go into a lot of detail about how it works, especially that IBM article. Basically, it involves training these really complex models on huge data sets and then using those models to generate something new.
So it's like teaching a computer to be an artist?
Kind of.
Or a writer?
Yeah.
That's amazing. But like any powerful tool, I'm guessing there are probably some risks involved too.
Of course. One of the biggest challenges is ensuring that the data used to train these models is free from bias.
Yeah.
If the data is biased, the output could be biased as well.
Right. That makes sense. And what about security? If these AI models are so valuable, aren't people going to try and steal them or misuse them?
Yeah, security is definitely a top priority. And there are also concerns about who owns the content that generative AI creates and how it might be used.
Yeah, you're right.
It's a lot to think about.
It sounds like there's a lot to consider, both the exciting possibilities and the potential downsides. But maybe we can move on now. There's some other amazing examples of how AI is already being used in the real world.
Yep. Let's do it.
Okay.
Welcome back to our deep dive into AI.
So we talked about AI in healthcare and hiring, but I'm guessing there are tons of other ways that AI is being used that we don't even realize.
Oh, you're absolutely right. One area where AI is having a huge impact is customer service. Think about those times you've gone online to chat with a company's support team. Chances are you were talking to a bot.
Oh, yeah, those chat bots. They're everywhere. Honestly, sometimes they're so good I can't even tell if it's a real person or not.
That's the point. They're designed to be super helpful and efficient. And these chatbots use something called natural language processing, which is a branch of AI that helps computers to understand and respond to human language.
So it's like they're learning to speak our language.
Exactly.
That's pretty cool. So they can handle customer service. What else can these AI things do?
Well, imagine this. You're shopping online, And you get recommendations for products that you actually want, not just random stuff. That's AI working behind the scenes to personalize your shopping experience.
Okay, that's definitely something I would appreciate. No more endless scrolling trying to find what I need. So AI can make our lives easier in a lot of ways. But can it also help with more serious problems?
Absolutely. One of the most important applications of AI is in fraud detection.
Oh, yeah.
You know how your bank might flag a suspicious transaction? That's likely AI at work. It's analyzing millions of data points
Yeah.
to identify patterns that indicate fraud.
It's like having an AI detective, constantly on the lookout for anything fishy.
Yeah.
That makes me feel a lot safer about online banking.
And it goes beyond banking. AI is also being used to enhance cybersecurity. Think of it as a digital immune system, constantly scanning for malware, protecting us from hackers.
So AI is kind of like a superhero in the digital world. That's
Right.
cool. But, we were talking earlier about AI in the workplace. It sounds like AI is changing things up for HR departments, too.
It really is. It's being used to streamline that entire hiring process. It can scan resumes, match candidates to jobs, and even help companies build more diverse teams.
Oh, wow. That's really important.
It is.
It's great that AI can help create a more level playing field in the workplace.
Absolutely.
And speaking of the workplace, AI is also revolutionizing manufacturing.
We're seeing the rise of smart factories, where
Yeah.
robots and humans actually work side by side.
Oh, wow. So it's not about robots replacing humans. It's about robots and humans teaming up.
Exactly. AI-powered robots can handle those dangerous or repetitive tasks, freeing up human workers to focus on more skilled and creative work.
Right.
And AI can even help prevent accidents by predicting when machines need repairs.
That's amazing. Wow, AI is really changing the game in so many industries. It's mind-blowing to think about all the possibilities. But, with all this talk about the amazing things that AI can do, we should probably also talk about some of the potential downsides.
You're right. It's important to be aware of the potential risks. As we discussed earlier, one of the biggest concerns is bias. If the data used to train AI systems is biased, the AI's decisions could be biased too.
That's a really good point. So how do we make sure that AI is being used responsibly?
That's the million-dollar question. It's something that researchers and policymakers and companies are all grappling with right now. We need to have those open and honest conversations
Yeah.
about the ethical implications of AI and develop guidelines to ensure it's used in a way that benefits everyone.
I'm glad to hear that people are thinking about this. It's important to have those conversations now.
Yeah.
Before AI gets even more advanced.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We need to be proactive and shape the future of AI in a way that aligns with our values.
Well said. And, speaking of shaping the future, one of our sources, the Edureka video, mentioned something called artificial superintelligence. So that's the idea that AI could eventually become smarter than humans, right?
That's right. It's a concept that's been explored in science fiction for decades. But now it's starting to feel like a real possibility.
Wow.
Some experts believe that artificial superintelligence could emerge within the next few decades.
Wow, that's kind of scary, but also really fascinating. I mean, what would a world with super intelligent AI even look like? Would it be like those movies?
Yeah.
Where robots take over?
It's hard to say for sure. No one really knows what artificial superintelligence would be like, but it's certainly something we need to be thinking about.
I agree. But even if AI doesn't become super intelligent, it's already changing our world in some pretty profound ways. So let's maybe shift gears a little bit and talk about what all of this means for us, for everyday people. What skills do we need to thrive in a future that's shaped by AI?
That's a great question. The good news is AI is not about replacing humans. It's about augmenting our capabilities and working alongside us. So the skills that will be most valuable are those that are uniquely human.
So things like creativity, critical thinking,
Yep.
problem solving.
Exactly. Those are skills that machines, at least for now, are not very good at. We also need to be adaptable and lifelong learners. The world is changing fast, and we need to be able to keep up.
That makes sense. But I have to admit, it can be a little overwhelming to think about all of this. AI is such a complex and rapidly evolving field.
It is. But that's also what makes it so exciting. We're on the cusp of a technological revolution, and it's up to us to shape it in a way that benefits humanity.
I like that. It's not about being afraid of AI. It's about understanding it and using it for good. But before we wrap up this deep dive, I want to circle back to something we talked about earlier, responsible AI development. What does that actually look like in practice?
Well, it involves a lot of different things. It's about ensuring that AI systems are fair and unbiased, that they respect privacy, and that they're transparent and accountable. It's also about making sure that AI is used for good, not for harm.
That sounds like a tall order.
It is, but it's something we can't afford to ignore. The decisions we make today about AI will have a profound impact on our future.
Well, I, for one, am excited to see where this all goes. And on that note, let's move on to our final thoughts on the future of AI. Welcome back. We've covered a lot of ground in our deep dive into AI, from those mind-blowing applications to some pretty big ethical questions. But now I think it's time to look ahead and think about what the future holds.
Yeah. It's pretty clear that AI is going to continue to evolve at an incredible pace. And what's really exciting is that we're really just scratching the surface of what's possible.
You know, earlier we were talking about the idea of artificial superintelligence, AI that could actually surpass human intelligence. I mean, it sounds like science fiction, but our sources seem to suggest that it could become a reality.
Right. And that raises some really profound questions, like if machines become smarter than us, what happens to humanity? Do we become obsolete? Or can humans and AI find a way to coexist and even collaborate?
Those are some pretty big questions. It also makes you wonder if there are limits to what AI can do. Like, can AI ever truly understand human emotions or creativity or even consciousness?
That's a really fascinating debate. Some experts believe that AI, with enough data and processing power, could eventually replicate human intelligence and even consciousness. Others argue that there's something fundamentally different about human intelligence, something that just can't be replicated in a machine.
So it's like there's this mystery at the heart of what it means to be human, and we're not even sure if AI can solve it.
Exactly.
Wow.
But even if AI doesn't achieve human-level consciousness, it's still going to have a massive impact on our lives. That's why it's so important to think about responsible AI development. You know, we need to ensure that it's used for good, not for harm.
You know, it's easy to get caught up in all the amazing things AIs can do, but as we've been discussing, there are also potential risks, like bias in algorithms, job displacement, privacy concerns. These are all things we need to be talking about.
Absolutely, and it's not just up to the experts either. We all have a role to play in shaping the future of AI. It's about asking questions, engaging in conversations, and demanding transparency and accountability from those who are developing and deploying these AI systems.
I completely agree. We can't just sit back and let AI happen to us. We need to be active participants in shaping its development. But that can feel kind of overwhelming, especially when you consider how complex this technology is.
It's true. But you don't need to be a computer scientist to understand the basic principles of AI and the ethical considerations involved. There's so many resources available, books, articles, podcasts, that can help you get up to speed.
So it's about being informed, being curious, and not being afraid to ask questions.
Exactly. And remember, the future of AI isn't predetermined. It's something we're all creating together. The choices we make today will determine the kind of world we live in tomorrow.
That's a powerful thought. So as we wrap up this deep dive into AI, let's leave our listeners with this. Don't be intimidated by AI. Embrace its potential, but also be aware of its limitations and the ethical challenges that it presents. Stay informed, ask questions, and be part of the conversation. The future of AI is in our hands. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive.
Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, give it a like to show your support. Got thoughts, questions, or ideas? Drop a comment below. I'd love to hear from you. Subscribe and hit the to stay updated on my latest content. See you in the next video.